Hey you guys, welcome to my classified facts video. Did you know that there are people right now who, like billionaires, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, who know in fact about climate change? And people who know about climate change know about the Greenpeace order. The Greenpeace is a lot to do with, protecting pharmaceuticals, or protecting businesses such as, farmlands, with animals and stuff like that. And they need their time. So this is what I suggest. If you're trying to do something as a big project like this, think of the cost and the value it would put upon businesses and people who have a carbon footprint. This is what I suggest. Within 15 years, you got to be careful with liberal arts and sciences, okay? Because it's natural to want things to get better. Yes, we're overheating. Yes, there's solar power. Yes, there's a lot of things that don't last long. Yes, but we have to consider the time span. Now, they said that they found a planet 4 light years away. Now, how are you going to get there is the question, because think about it. You have a lot of planets that you're trying to discover. You found one, but it's hard to get there. How are you going to jump into space and not know where you're going? You see, the truth is, people have a spaceship shuttle outside in space, and that's already causing the maximum amount of heat. But what I will tell you is that you don't need a space station to take you out inside of that. What you're going to need is to use your thankfulness. I'm not saying that a lot of people know what they're doing, but if you want to keep in signal and in contact with the space station of the National Space Station, yes, then you're going to have to make more projects. My project is, for one, to wait to have perfect communication of 5 years, which will naturally happen eventually. Perfect education of the next 5 years of education perfectly. Wait for the last 5 years of transportation perfectly, and you get an amount of 15 years. Why I'm saying this? Because when you leave Earth in 15 years is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make a rocket car or whatever, but that needs several tests, and it has to be on time. Timing is everything. Now, they're talking about this is classified. Yes, it is, because you have to be careful. Anybody can make this and fail and put their lives and others in danger, and you don't want that, and that's a big mess to clean up. So yes, so what the point is this is the thing. I'm not gonna say how the cost is or the value is, but if you're gonna do something, like, you gotta do it smartly. First, have a suit that's a good shield. And if you're going to transport your car to a rocket, how are you going to do that when you need transportation to do that? You need transportation. You need perfect communication first to get that transportation. So I would wait 5 years. It's going to take an amount of energy till it becomes perfect, but you're not at the end of the 5 years. So you're going to take a few tests, and it's going to be a lot of accidents, a lot of fails, a lot of cleanup for a lot of people. Yes, because your motivation is to have more strength and to build that stamina. So there's going to be sacrifices that are going to be made, including the education, including the transportation. It is what it is, okay? I'm just letting you know what's going to happen. Needs, people want their needs, okay? They have their needs. I understand. This is a man's project. These men who know this are going to do this. Ladies, we have to stay out the way, okay? Because this is what they're going to do. What they're going to do is try to run wave speed, a high bridge. But men, what you have to consider is where the females are in their location. So I would work in the river, okay? Work in the river, okay, of the Mississippi River. They need runway speed, a high bridge, a jump start, bounce off water, lift off, frequent, whatever. But the frequent beating, a song gets it there. You need to focus. Use all 25 songs like piano that is strong, not fast, strong movement. If you're trying to work up to that ability to have that stamina to work strong, because then you won't burn out. Helps the duration, not just to promote it, okay? It's not just about words or anything. Every girl wants their music to be recognized and appreciated. It will be eventually, but then you still have to move on, and you still have to work, and you still work to live, not to die. That's the key. Okay? Now we're running out of time, but we're not running out of time as you think. Before things get better, it gets worse, and what goes up must come down. So they're gonna need strong feet for this. So I would suggest use green bean soak. Soak your feet in green beans, and pureed green beans, after you boil it and after you wash it and after you set it still so it can water can evaporate in the green bean, make it fat, and then you use it in your soak, and you soak your bean. That's natural green bean salt, because it also has natural salt in it. You don't need Epsom salt. Just use the green bean soak, okay, because it has natural fibers in it and it helps your feet. Okay, a rolling machine chained in ground underwater, and this is going to start from the south side to the north side. That's going to help you push all that, punch through that water real good and strong, but not fast. You don't want to be impacted. You're going through all that water, so it's going to need a runway in the ground, not too far deep in the ground, but from a shoreline. And then from the shoreline, you're going to have to remember you're going to be underground for a while, so you're settling in. So you're on the runway in the ground. So you rest for a while. Keep it rest in the ground for a while. For that's after the communication education. Yes, this is the education. This is just communication, but then you're gonna also have education and transportation. Okay, so you need to know where your location. To get to transportation, you need to understand your identity, your time, your location. Now, I already said that in my last videos. Get the picture. This is the big picture. Starting on runway in the ground of the coast of Louisiana, coming out of the Mississippi River's deep side. They already know this, and I'm probably sure they're gonna do this. Now, here's another thing. Now you have this, right? You have all of this right here. If you start at the bottom, you work your way up, but you have all this. So you have the water, which is where you're in, but you have the shoreline. Don't forget the shoreline, okay? The shoreline is how you get there. The shoreline is at the bottom. This is the shoreline. You're at the shoreline, right? The shoreline is right at the bottom where your machine is. You have to work at a shoreline. Now you're going in water. You have your shoreline, so it's in the thing, but you're going deep underwater. You have to go deep, 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 go deep, 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 deep in the water, right? As soon as you get by that, and this is the part where the deep of the water is. You have the water, but you have the underwater cover breaking still. How to get down to there, it's going to take probably a few fails. Yeah, you're going to have, it's probably a suicide mission, and that's the tough part of it all. They have to put that brick and steel under that water, because all that water pressure, and consider the water pressure, and not water pressure, consider the pressure underwater, and it causes heat and water damage. Okay, so you're gonna have to make a few tests, and you're gonna have to do a lot. If you want something like this, please like and subscribe, please comment, because there are caves in the Cave of the Mounds. If you notice the Cave of the Mounds, it's in still water. All that embedded rock and all that cave and limestone, all that stone and stuff, and that water, that stuff has heat damage and water damage over time, and that needs to be sawed and stuff. Okay, you might have wood, you might have everything. It still gets impacted. You need to think about that consequence. So that's why you need a shoreline. A shoreline, something that can take the machine, that can roll the machine back if it's too much water pressure, to protect the machine. And something, you can't keep it underwater. You have to keep it on the shoreline, covered. Okay, that's what's going to protect your machine. Protect your shield, because that's what's going to protect you and keep your people in place. Okay. So that, and because you're coming out of us, it might to get it underwater will be a suicide mission for some, but coming out of it, others will survive, because you did the test, but you're running it back and forth, You have a shoreline. Okay, you need to understand that. Now, because they understand that, it takes many planets to get to Mount Zion. Mount Zion is the very end, but the Arcturus and Orion Pleiades, they're talking about going to other planets. Where are you going if you don't know how to get to the nearest place? You're talking about 4 light years to a planet. Okay, I saw the sky fall in spring and winter and spring of 2025 March. I saw the whole Orion Pleiades. That's way too far. You're going way too far with this. You need to start to the nearest. You have the moon. You haven't even got to the moon. You haven't even got to Mars yet. How are you going to do that if you're not able to make the perfect machine starting from the shoreline? Thank you. All right, you guys. So I saw the sky fall in winter spring 2025 in March. You're not going to make it there if you don't think perfect communication. It's going to get there eventually, but you need to know the facts. Many people of the past did the same thing. How are you going to do that? Okay? That's all I want you guys to think about. Is think of the cost and the value of what this is. All right? All right. Peace.